Hi everybody, Miss Amanda here with our friend Sydney at the Greater Des Moines Botanical Garden. And we're so excited to be able to be here today in partnership with the garden and show you all sorts of fun things. Sydney?
Thanks for having me join this week, Amanda. As Amanda mentioned, my name is Sydney. I am on the education team here at Greater Des Moines Botanical Garden, and we are in our outdoor gardens, which you got a little preview of just a moment ago. So really excited for some music, some plant facts, and should we get started?
We should. I think it's going to be really fun. I mean, over the centuries, composers have been inspired by the world around them. You know this from also painters and sculptors, and but it's in everywhere that we go and everything we listen to and everything that we see is the world around us and the natural world around us. So being able to showcase how music interacts with plants and wildlife and all sorts of fun things. That's our goal for DMSO over the next few weeks. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Again, my name is Amanda Drish. I work for the Des Moines Symphony and Academy, and I'll be playing my violin. Today I'll be playing some pieces that are Scottish tunes, actually. There were a lot of Scottish composers who were really inspired by the world and the greenery and the flowers and the water and everything around them. And so there's a lot of music, actually, a lot of Scottish music written specifically about roses. So the first two pieces I'm going to play have the name Rose in them. So this is Rose Acre, and the one immediately following that will be the Rosebud of Allenvale. Next up, the Rosebud of Allenvale. love these pieces. You know, they're short, they're sweet, they're beautiful. The next one I'm going to play, I think is kind of interesting. It's called Prince Charlie's Last View of Scotland. So if you ever think about when you're going on a drive or you're going on a walk and you want to look at what you're seeing and picture it as a memory and take it away with you forever. You know, some of my most favorite memories are hiking through the mountains or going on a path and finding I don't know, waterfall or something like that. And those are memories I want to hold with me forever. And so that's kind of the thought that I have with this next piece. So again, it's Prince Charlie's Last View of Scotland. All right. Thank you so much for listening. I absolutely love playing for you guys. I think this is a really awesome opportunity to partner with the Greater Des Moines Botanical Garden. I'm excited for you to stay tuned later on for some really cool fun facts about flowers and other great things. But first, we have a few kids who were inspired to play outside. So what I mean by that is we gave an invitation to anybody who wanted to go on a scavenger hunt and find some really cool things outside. They could describe the flowers, they could describe the tree, the grass, or whatever they see. Or if they're a musician, they could also play in some of their favorite spots. And so next up, we have Louisa, who decided that her mother's herb garden was her favorite place to play. Great job, Louisa. That was amazing. Thank you so much for submitting your video. Just so you all know, if you want to be just like Louisa and submit your video for our next DMSO at-home family concert, we are going to be partnering with the Blank Park Zoo on September 27th. If you'd like to send us a video of you playing, I don't know, maybe for your cat, or maybe for your stuffed animals, or you want to use your imagination, you can send me an email with that video, and we'll post that link in the comments below. All right, next up we have Louisa's brother Corbin, and Corbin got very adventurous with his violin. Now, if you go to do this at home, make sure that you have your teacher's permission first and your parents' permission second, of course. Make sure that that's always the case and that we're always safe with our instruments. But here's Corbin being extra adventurous today. Wow, Corbin, that was excellent. Thank you so much for submitting your videos. Now, remember, if you have any questions for either me or Miss Sydney here during her presentation or any of mine, make sure to post those in the comments below. We'd love to answer your questions. All right, Sydney, do you have some fun stuff to share with us today?
I certainly do. So Amanda already mentioned a few songs that are centered around different flowers. Our garden has so many different plants and so many different flowers. In fact, we have over 2,000, I want to say even close to 3,000 different taxa in our collection. So that's not individual plants, that's different kinds of plants. And some of them are beautiful roses. Some of them provide shade, like the trees that we're sitting under. But a lot of plants have one very important thing in common, and that is pollination. Do you know what pollination is? Or maybe you can tell me a couple pollinators that you've seen. Most people think of things like bees and butterflies, hummingbirds, and all the time when they are visiting different flowers, they are helping the process of pollination, which is simply transferring pollen from one flower to another. We're going to watch a short video from the Botanical Garden all about pollination so that we can learn a little bit more about what's happening when those insects, or sometimes other things, visit different plants.
The Botanical Garden is a great place to find lots of pollinators because we have a wide variety of flowers. We have all shapes, sizes, and colors. And it turns out that pollinators prefer different things when it comes to shape, size, and color of their flowers. So having a wide variety of flowers means we get a wide variety of pollinators. And those things, shape, size, and color, those are all clues that can help us figure out who pollinates each flower. So let's take a closer look. The size of a flower can often tell us the size of a pollinator. Big flowers are perfect for big pollinators like birds and butterflies. But little flowers are the perfect size for teeny tiny pollinators like flies and ants and bees. The color of a flower is another really important clue. Just like you and I have favorite colors, so do pollinators. Moths and flies, they love white flowers and really dull colored flowers, but hummingbirds and butterflies, they love bright colors, especially pink, red, orange, and yellow. The shape of a flower gives us a little bit of an idea of what our pollinator looks like. For example, hummingbirds, they have that long, skinny beak. They love long, tube-shaped flowers. And butterflies, for example, they like to sit down when they drink nectar. So they like a large, flat flower. Now that you guys know a little bit of these clues and detective skills, let's go put them to the test with an example. This is a Columbine flower. Let's see if we can put our detective skills to the test and figure out who pollinates the Columbine flower. First things first, columbines are red. They have long tubes and they're medium to large. Who do you think pollinates the columbine flower? It's the hummingbird. That's right. Now that you've figured out how to use these detective skills, let's go inside to the conservatory and talk to Alex and put our detective skills to the test.
Thanks, Heather. I'm here in the conservatory that houses our tropical and desert plants. They often have unusual pollinators, so let's stick to our clues to find out who pollinates these plants. The first plant we're talking about is the agave. It's a very common desert plant. Let's think about the clues to help find the pollinator. This long stalk from the center houses the flowers up at the top. They are white in color, they have a lot of nectar, and they're open at night. Who do you think pollinates this plant? If you guessed a bat, you are correct. This is a bat-pollinated plant. Let's go find another plant and find out what pollinates it. Now let's try and find out the unusual pollinator that pollinates this tree behind me. The traveler's tree is native to Madagascar. Let's look at the flowers to find out our clues. The flowers are way high up in the tree. They're very large flowers. And a bonus hint is that this pollinator is actually a mammal. He's also a king in the movie Madagascar. Do you know who pollinates this tree? It's a lemur. The lemur goes to the flower to eat nectar and also the seeds that are bright blue. The last plants we'll talk about is our collection of bamboo. Bamboo is in the grass family, so it grows really quickly. Bamboo can grow 1.6 inches every hour or over 3 feet every day. Let's talk about the flowers to find out who might pollinate bamboo. The flowers, although it's not flowering right now, are very, very tiny, really high up in the air. The flowers are very simple and the pollen hangs out of them. A bonus clue is that this pollinator is not living. Do you know who might pollinate the bamboo? It's wind. Bamboo is wind pollinated, so the pollen just blows from one flower to another. Thanks.
That was really interesting. You know, I was inspired by that video to play a piece called The Bee's Wing Hornpipe. I thought it'd be kind of fun to play a pollinator song after learning about pollinators on the Botanical Gardens video. All right, here we go. hornpipe. Now I'm turning it back over to Sydney for a really great demonstration.
Thanks, Amanda. That was really beautiful. It's been such a nice afternoon here at the garden, listening to this beautiful music, surrounded by beautiful flowers. We've even had some goldfinches fluttering around us. I hope that you're very curious about plants and nature now after you've heard a few nature-inspired songs and watched that pollinator video. So I thought it might be fun to do a little flower dissection. And this is something that you can join in and do at home too. All you need is a flower. It doesn't matter what kind of flower. Any flower will do. What we're going to do is take this flower apart step by step together to find out exactly what's going on with a flower when a pollinator visits it to pollinate it. Flowers are going to be different and have different parts depending on which you choose, but some of the parts will always look just about the same. So to start, I chose a lily. It's a really beautiful yellow color, and it's a good one to dissect because the parts are really big and you can see them pretty easily. First, what we're going to do is gently pull off the petals by just gently pulling them down around away from the flower. While you're pulling them down, take a look at what color the petals are. The petals serve a really important role for a flower, actually a couple different roles. First of all, they're protecting the parts inside in the center of the flower. They're also usually what we notice first on a flower. They're bright and colorful most often, and that's what attracts a pollinator to that plant. Now that we have the petals off of our flower, you can see these really strange things in the center. Some are yellow, and there's one that's really skinny and kind of pink at the tip. I don't know how well you can see that. These, what we're left with are the stigma and the anthers of the plant, of the flower. So those are different parts that serve different roles. Sometimes a flower will only have one of these. It might only have the stamen, which is this part, and the anther, or it might only have the stigma or the style and pistil. We're going to start with pulling off the anther on our flower. So we're going to just pull off these things. It's easy to tell which one are the anther because the anther has the pollen. So it's kind of fuzzy and oftentimes yellow looking. We're going to pull those off. Now the anther, with that fuzzy stuff on it, the pollen, and this piece, that's called the filament. Altogether, that's called a stamen. So 3 parts in a flower actually make up one larger part. Fun fact, the only pollinator that really collects pollen or eats pollen is bees. What do you think most often brings a pollinator to a flower? It's usually something called nectar, which is a sticky, sweet substance that we can find on the stigma, which we'll take a look at here in a second. So here I have a single anther, and if I touch it, I'm going to get that fuzzy pollen on my finger. It's kind of yellow. When a pollinator visits a flower and is looking for nectar, it often brushes up against this anther and gets the pollen stuck to its body. It'll go visit another flower, and that pollen might fall off into that flower and stick to our sticky stigma, which is the only piece we have left here. This is what pollinators are really after. If you think of something like a butterfly or a hummingbird going to drink the nectar, this stigma even has some pollen stuck to it. It looks a little yellow. Now that we have all those parts removed, we have something that looks unremarkable, really. But at the base of it is something really exciting, we hope. Because what happens is that pollen on the tip of our stigma travels down to the base of the flower here. and hopefully pollinate something called an ovule. We can look and see if our plant has any ovules just by using our thumbs and using that to open it up. Oh, ours does have ovules. I'll try and show you them. They're little white things, and they kind of look like teeny tiny seeds. That's exactly what they are. They're baby seeds. So if you think about, imagine when you eat an apple. At the bottom of your apple, there's usually a dry part. Sometimes it has leaves on it. That's where the flower once was. The part that you're eating is called the ovary. So that is the part that surrounds the ovules. Ovules have to be pollinated to turn into seeds. So when you eat an apple, you are eating the ovary, the fruit, and in the inside, the seeds are the ovules. All of that has to happen through pollination for that apple to grow up big and those seeds to be able to reproduce. Pretty cool, I think. If you want to learn more about flowers or pollination, I'd invite you to go to our website. You can visit our activities and resources page, and there you'll find a packet called a Flower Fun Packet. It has this flower dissection so you can do it at home, and a lot of other fun activities for you to do. I think we should listen to some more music now. I'm going to turn it over to Amanda.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sydney. That was really cool. So, really quick, so bees are really important. Pollinators are super important, right?
Yes, they are very important, and you guys probably know that the reason we have a lot of our food is because of bees and other pollinators. They have to go visit those different plants so that we can eat things like peas and almond milk and berries and all those things that usually fill up our dinner plates.
That's interesting. That's one thing I never really thought about, is that even an apple needs to be pollinated from the flower. Like, I knew that apple trees had flowers on them, but I never really thought about the fruit process.
Yeah.
And we have a friend, Locust, who's now joined us. Hopefully he goes away quickly so you can still hear the tunes. All right, next up, you guys, I have an extra video for you. The composer of this piece is Tchaikovsky. And Tchaikovsky, the specific one, is called Waltz of the Flowers from the Nutcracker Suite. So here's the video of Tchaikovsky's Waltz of the Flowers. I just love Tchaikovsky's music, and I wanted to be sure that you had the opportunity to not just hear Scottish fiddle tunes, but also to hear some classical music representative of showcasing flowers and all sorts of other things too. So that's why we decided to play some Tchaikovsky for you today as well. All right, the next piece I'm going to play is called The Thorn Bush. Now, not all of our wonderful wildlife and flowers and whatnot, not all of them are super friendly. Some of them are a little bit prickly, and stuff like poison ivy, they can even make your skin itch. And so I think it's kind of funny that they made a song called The Thorn Bush. All right, here we go. See if you can find, I don't know, the things that might be the thorns in the song. We'll see. That was the thorn bush. Okay. You know, I think the botanical gardens are just absolutely beautiful. Can you guys comment below if you've ever been to the outdoor botanical gardens before? We'd love to see if any of our viewers have been here before, or we'd love to be able to extend an invitation. I'm sure they would love to see you here sometimes. Make sure you're wearing your mask so we're all staying safe. All right, the next piece I'm going to play for you is The Banks of Loch Ness. Loch Ness is a lake. There's some really fun mystical stories about Loch Ness. You guys should ask your parents to tell you about them or look it up and see some of the fairy tales or fables that are written about that area. All right, here we go. The Banks of Loch Ness. All right, I'm going to play a couple more songs for you before we turn it over to more of our fun students who have decided to be inspired to play some music for us. So here's a couple more, and we'll turn it over to them. Let's see, let's do Loch Earn is the next one. Here we go. Remember, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. That was a lot of fun. I enjoy playing that one. Okay, the next one is called The Flowers of Edinburgh. Did you guys know there were so many pieces named after flowers and plants? Found it really interesting getting ready to prepare for this concert. All right, here we go. The Flowers of Edinburgh. All right, again, just so you guys remember, our next concert, DMSO At Home Family Concert, is partnering with the Blank Park Zoo. We are so excited for this partnership in September on the 27th. If you have any ideas or would like to submit a video asking questions of anybody at the zoo, questions of me, or even playing your instrument for your pets at home, or even your stuffed animals, I bet that would be really great for us to see, and I think that we might even showcase it at our next concert. Okay, because we love showcasing our students, our next performer is Peter, and his song is actually Song of the Wind, a song that's being played by a 4-year-old. Even that is inspired by the world around us. Here you go, Peter. did such an amazing job. Thank you for sharing that with us. I absolutely loved hearing you play. Next up, we have Carol. Carol is playing Long, Long Ago. There you go, Carol.
Hi, my name is Carol, and I'm going to play Long, Long Ago.
Carol, that was amazing. Thank you so much for submitting your video. Again, if you have any questions, we're about ready to go into a Q&A with me and Sydney. So type your questions below. We'll make sure to answer those when we get to that part of the concert. I'm going to play one more song for you. It'll be the last time that I play for you, and then we'll have another video to share. All right, the last song on this violin today is called the Lochmaven Hornpipe. All right, you guys, earlier I played a piece that, all right, well, I think that we're just going to sit here for a little bit. Sydney, did you have some questions?
I did. I'm not musically inclined at all, so I tried to play the trumpet at one time, but I never have even touched a wood instrument. And I was so curious, it's made of wood, so is there a particular type of wood that makes a better violin?
Yeah, I think that it has a lot to do with the violin maker also and their preferences. But to say that, spruce is typically a wood that is used, and you can see the wood striations on the back here. Let's see if I can get, here we go, look at that. I found the sun. You can really see them on the back. So, do you guys know what these are called? Like, have you guys, we just had the derecho go through Iowa. Did you guys ever see the rings on the inside of a tree that might have fallen down? That tells you how old a tree is and how much water it got. Am I correct in that?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
In the year that it grew. So, different violins all sound differently. Not one violin sounds the same to the next one. And a lot of that has to do with the individuality of the tree that it was made from. So, and they use a different wood on the back, sometimes a different wood on the front. This part is ebony, also wood. And this part here, this is a bridge, this way, that's also made out of wood. So inherently our instruments are connected with the earth, and so I think it makes sense that composers are writing music about flowers and trees and bees and all the fun things like that. Sydney, what else? How long have you been here? Like, what's your favorite part of the garden?
Oh, what's my favorite part of the garden? It changes every season and sometimes every day or week because there's always something new growing or coming into bloom. Really, you can never see the garden in the same window anytime that you visit. I do have a couple favorite spots in the garden, though, that I love to check out. I love our Lordson Savannah. That is a special garden that really looks to the grassland ecotype. So whether it's our native prairies or maybe the savanna in Africa, and brings species from all over the world and mixes them in. So there is a good number of native plants in our savanna, and it's just so beautiful season after season. We also have a willow tree that Amanda and I can see from where we are. There's a bench under there, so if ever I need just a peaceful spot to go in the garden, that's always my go-to.
I like that you mentioned that, having a peaceful spot to go to. I think that being outside is a really great time to be able to breathe in the air, get some vitamin D from the sun, and listening to music. So I'm really glad that you guys tuned in today to get some, some smiles, that was really nice. Hope you learned a little bit about the Greater Des Moines Botanical Garden. Hopefully you stop by for a visit, again, with your mask to make sure we're all staying safe. My name is Amanda Drish. I work for the Des Moines Symphony and Academy. Our next DMSO at-home family concert is on September 27th. Thank you so much, Sydney, for partnering with us today. This has been a lot of fun. So thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Sydney, do you have any last remarks for our friends?
It's just been so much fun. I'm so glad we were able to partner this afternoon. And again, like Amanda was saying, our outdoor gardens are open, so there's about 6 acres for you to come and explore. The fall, the gardens, certain spaces really hit their peak, so it just keeps going and going. Come visit us anytime.
Thanks, everybody. Again, September 27th, we'll be at the Blank Park Zoo. We hope to see you online for that next live stream family concert. Stay tuned to our Facebook pages and our Des Moines Symphony website for any updates and further concert information. Have a great rest of your Sunday, everybody. Thanks for joining in. Ta-da!